Hare Krishna, welcome to this episode of Harināma Cintāmaṇi. So this is episode 6, and in today's episode we will be studying the Guru Aparādha, which is the third offense against the chanting of the holy name. So we will say our Mangalacharan prayers and invoke the blessings of Srila Prabhupada and the entire Parampara, and then we will begin. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Caitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamahyam Dadati Svapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapada Kamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Caitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. It's actually an honor that we are able to speak and have discussions on this important topic of Nama Aparādha. And it's coincidental or by the plan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that we are actually approaching the Gaura Purnima, and it's a perfect time to actually reflect on the teachings of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the holy name which he has come to spread in this, Golokera Premadhana Harināma Sankirtana. So this Harināma Sankirtan is brought by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu from the spiritual world, and he has left the Śikṣā for us. And these 10 offenses, if we can avoid, then we can actually properly follow the instruction and we can properly be the recipient of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. And these topics are, they are very, very elevated in the way Bhaktivinoda Thakur is explaining. So we just pray for the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to be able to share this in the purest way possible. There is this nice verse in the Chaitanya Charitamrita: Katanchana smrite yasmin dushkaram sukaram bhavet vismrite viparitam syan Sri Chaitanyam namamitam. So this is a very important verse for all our Gaudiya Vaishnavas. All of us should really remember this verse and remember that this is the way how we will progress. So this is it's a Chaitanya Charitamrita Adilila 14.1. It means things that are very difficult to do become easy to execute if one somehow or other simply remembers Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But if one does not remember him, even easy things become very difficult. To this Sri Chaitanya, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, I offer my respectful obeisances. So this topic is certainly very difficult, but we pray to the mercy pray for the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu so that we can try to do some minuscule justice to this great topic, and hopefully we'll imbibe this in our own lives, Alright, so we will start with this chapter 6, Disregarding the Guru or Offending the Guru, Guru Aparādha. Panchatattva Jaya Jaya Shri Radha Madhava Jaya Navadvipa Vraja Yamuna Vaishnava. So the prayer is a little bit different here. Haridas said, O Lord, now I will tell you now how the third offense occurs. According to your order, I will describe in detail all the offenses that occur from disobeying the Guru. Having wandered from one body to another in 8,400,000 species of life, through unintentional pious activity, the jiva obtains a human body. Unintentional pious activity. It's not even intended. The human body is a rare opportunity because only in this form can the living entity perform devotional service properly. As a demigod, one has a tendency to enjoy, and as a lower animal, one has no capacity for knowledge. But in the human form, the living entity can progress back to his constitutional position with Krishna. So this is an important point here made. Our human life, now, although we think it is fraught with so many miseries, there is actually this huge advantage that we have in this life compared to all other lives, even including demigod life. So in the lower animals' life, we have no capacity to understand this knowledge. And in the demigod's life, we will be fraught with too many distractions. That even though they know, but there is so much material enjoyment that is a huge distraction. So actually, human being life on earth is way more fortunate. So actually, we are actually sitting on that fortune. We want heavenly life, but the people in the heavenly planets, they want to live on earth. They don't want their heavenly life. You see, this is what the demigods are saying. I'll show you something very interesting. I think some of you already know this. So this is what they are saying. Since the human form of life is a sublime position for spiritual realization, I'm reading from the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 5:19-21 onwards. I think about 6 verses all the way through 26. I'll just read the translation here. So, since the human form of life is a sublime position for spiritual realization, all the demigods in heaven speak in this way. How wonderful it is for these human beings to have been born in the land of Varṣa, especially Indians. Of course, in those days, Varṣa means the entire planet, but now it has reduced to just that India. But you see, this Varṣa is very, very, Punya Bhumi. They must have executed pious acts of austerity in the past, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself must have been pleased with them. Otherwise, how could they engage in devotional service in so many ways? We demigods can only aspire to achieve human births in Bharatavarsha to execute devotional service, but these human beings are already engaged there. Look at this. We want to go to Swargaloka, but Swargavasis, they are praying that when will the time come when we will take birth in Bharatavarsha? How much fortune we are sitting on. We should understand that this is so valuable. You see, we demigods can only aspire to achieve Bharatavarsha, human births in Bharatavarsha, to execute devotional service. But these human beings are already engaged there. The demigods continue. After performing the very difficult tasks of executing Vedic ritualistic sacrifices, undergoing austerities, observing vows and giving charity, we have achieved this position as inhabitants of the heavenly planets. But what is the value of this achievement? Here we are certainly very engaged in material sense gratification, and therefore we can hardly remember the lotus feet of Lord Narayana. Indeed, because of our excessive sense gratification, we have almost forgotten His lotus feet. A short life in the land of Bharatavarsha is preferable to a life achieved in Brahmaloka for millions and billions of years, because even if one is elevated to Brahmaloka, he must return to repeated birth and death. Although life in Bharatavarsha in a lower planetary system is very short, one who lives there can elevate himself to full Krishna consciousness and achieve the highest perfection even in this short life by fully surrendering unto the lotus feet of the Lord. Thus one attains the Vaikuntha Loka, where there is neither anxiety nor repeated birth in a material body. You see, even when Krishna comes, I mean, of course, there are many avatars and he comes all over the universe in different planets. But especially the Sampurna Bhagavan Krishna, when he comes onto earth. Of all the billions and billions of planets in the universe, he comes to this planet, Earth. And on earth also, that Bharatvarsha, Mathura, So this is not a common thing. We are actually very, very, very fortunate. Next, an intelligent person does not take interest in a place, even in the topmost planetary system, if the pure Ganges of topics concerning the Supreme Lord's activities does not flow there, if there are not devotees engaged in the service on the banks of such a river of piety, or if there are no festivals of Sankirtan Yajna to satisfy the Lord, especially since Sankirtan Yajna is recommended in this age. So that means an intelligent person does not live in a place where there is no Sankirtan going on. Now, apart from the context of demigods, talking about the earth, there is other thing here. You see, sometimes devotees, they want to leave the association of devotees because of some job opportunity somewhere in another country, and they think there is a very lucrative job, and sometimes they leave the association of devotees, and when they go there, they become weak in their spiritual life. So that's not a very intelligent move. Here it is said, an intelligent person does not take interest in a place, even in the topmost planetary systems, where there are no festivals of Sankirtan Yajna to satisfy the Lord. Of course, there is the other option where if I go somewhere, I can start the center there, a preaching center. That would need, of course, some kind of at least some training. So if one goes and does that, that's good. You see, but if I just go for a job opportunity and then lose myself there without having the company of devotees, then it's not intelligent. So next, Bharatavarsha offers the proper land and circumstances in which to execute devotional service, which can free one from the results of jnana and karma. If one obtains a human body in the land of Bharatavarsha with clear sensory organs with which to execute the Sankirtan Yajna, but in spite of this opportunity he does not take to devotional service, he is certainly like liberated forest animals and birds that are careless and are therefore again bound by a hunter. In India, Bharatavarsha, there are many worshippers of the demigods and the various officials appointed by the Supreme Lord, such as Indra, Chandra, Surya, all of whom are worshipped differently. The worshippers offer the demigods their oblations, considering the demigods part and parcel of the whole, the Supreme Lord. Therefore, the Supreme Personality of Godhead accepts these offerings and gradually raises the worshippers to the real standard of devotional service by fulfilling their desires and aspirations. Because the Lord is complete, He offers the worshippers the benedictions they desire, even if they worship only part of His transcendental body. So this is how the denizens of heaven, they are glorifying the human birth on earth, in the Bharatavarsha especially. So, as a demigod, one has a tendency to enjoy, and as a lower animal, one has no capacity for knowledge, but in the human form, the living entity can progress back to his constitutional position with Krishna. Therefore, if one does not take care to attain Krishna in this temporary body, one will die and obtain some other body, losing the opportunity to escape from the material prison. The intelligent person, having attained a human birth in this world, will take shelter of a spiritual master who will act as a captain to guide the jiva over the ocean of material nature with the instructions of Bhakti Yoga. This is the importance of the Guru. Now, human birth is good, but if it is without a captain, then it is a very precarious position. So that is also explained. I think you know. Nirdehamadyam sulabham sudurlabham plavam sukalpam guru karnadharam mayanukulena nabhasvate ritam puman bhavabdhim nataretsa atmaha. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 11:20-17. The human body, which can award all benefit in life, is automatically obtained by the laws of nature, although it is a very rare achievement. This human body can be compared to a perfectly constructed boat, having the spiritual master as the captain, and the instructions of the personality of Godhead as favorable winds impelling it on its course. Considering all these advantages, a human being who does not utilize his human life to cross the ocean of material existence must be considered the killer of his own soul. Now, demigods, human body is better than demigods in the sense for spiritual realization, but without the guidance of a guru, it's simply a waste of life. It's like a boat without a captain. And of course, this other verse is there. Labdva sudurlabhamidam bahusambhavante manushyamarthadamanityamapi hadhiraham turnam yatedanapatedanu mrityu yavan nishreyasaya vishaya khalu sarvatah syat. After many births and deaths, one achieves the rare human form of life, which, although temporary, affords one the opportunity to attain the highest perfection. Thus, a sober human being should quickly endeavor for the ultimate perfection of life, as long as his body, which is always subject to death, has not fallen down and died. After all, sense gratification is available even in the most abominable species of life, whereas Krishna consciousness is possible only for a human being. So for a human being this is possible, and it is only possible with the guidance of a guru, otherwise it is not possible. Ado gurvashrayam. The beginning of human life is when actually one attains or one takes shelter of a spiritual master. Until then it is only animal life. Janmana jayate shudra, samskarat bhaved vija, vedapathat bhaved vipra, brahma janati iti brahmana. So this is the means in the by birth we are all shudras. And Shudra is on the level of animal in consciousness, and not very, so not very advanced. It's almost on the level of animals. But the other three classes, there is Dvija. That means they take the second birth under the guidance of the spiritual master. Now, Rajeshwari Mataji has reminded of this. I was supposed to show this in the last class, actually in the previous class, and 2 classes before. It was about, I showed you in the offense against the devotees, the qualities, the 28 qualities of devotees, Dayalu, Sahishnu, and all of that. So, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says in the 11th canto, Krishna has told Uddhava about it. So I said in that lecture that it is maybe spread throughout the 11th canto, and like Bhaktivinoda Thakur summarized, because I could not find the exact words Dayalu, Sahishnu. Then I found in Harināma Cintāmaṇi that it was actually a Bengali verse. But actually there is a verse that tells all these, lists all these things. And I forgot to tell the other day with the conversation with Mataji, I was mentioning this, and I asked her to actually remind me if I do forget in my next session. So here is the verse. So this is actually in connection with the first offense, the Vaishnava Aparādha. So these are the qualities of a Vaishnava, how a Vaishnava can be recognized. And out of all these qualities, the principal quality is surrender to Krishna, and every other quality is dependent on that surrender to Krishna. Every other quality automatically is achieved by a devotee just by surrendering to Krishna. So we have studied this in that session. Now this is the verse. Shri Bhagavanuvacha 11:11, 29 through 32. 4 verses 29, 30, 31, 32. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Kripalur Akritadrohas Titikshur Sarvadehinam Satyasaro Navadhyatma Samah Sarvopakarakah Kamairahat Dhirdanto Mriduh Shuchir Akinchanaha Anihomita Bhukshantah Sthiro Macharano Munihi Apramatto Gabhiratma Dhritiman Jita Shadgunaha Amaniman Dahkalyo Maitraha Karunikah Kavihi Ajñāyaivam gunan doshan mayadishtan api svakan dharman santyajya yah sarvan mam bhajeta sa tu sattamaha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O Uddhava, a saintly person is merciful and never injures others. Even if others are aggressive, he is tolerant and forgiving toward all Vaishnavas. His strength and meaning in life come from the truth itself, and he is free from all envy and jealousy. And his mind is equal in material happiness and distress. Thus, he dedicates his time to work for the welfare of all others. His intelligence is never bewildered by material desires, and he has controlled his senses. His behavior is always pleasing, never harsh, and always exemplary, and he is free from possessiveness. He never endeavors in ordinary worldly activities, and he strictly controls his eating. He therefore always remains peaceful and steady. A saintly person is thoughtful and accepts me as his only shelter. Such a person is very cautious in the execution of his duties and is never subject to superficial transformations, because he is steady and noble even in a distressing situation. He has conquered over the 6 material qualities, namely hunger, thirst, lamentation, illusion, old age, and death. He is free from all desires for prestige and offers honor to others. He is expert in reviving the Krishna consciousness of others and therefore never cheats anyone. Rather, he is a well-wishing friend to all, being most merciful. Such a saintly person must be considered the most learned of men. He perfectly understands that the ordinary religious duties prescribed by me in various Vedic scriptures possess favorable qualities that purify the performer, and he knows that neglect of such duties constitutes a discrepancy in one's life. Having taken complete shelter at my lotus feet, however, a saintly person ultimately renounces such ordinary religious duties and worships me alone. He is thus considered to be the best among all living entities. So, these verses 29 through 31 describe 28 qualities of a saintly person, and verse 32 explains the highest perfection of life. According to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the 17th quality, Matsharana, or taking complete shelter of Lord Krishna, is the most important, and the other 27 qualities automatically appear in one who has become a pure devotee of the Lord. So this we have actually already gone through in the other session. So as you can actually, all these this is a very nice purport. Every one of these qualities are mentioned with extraordinary lengths of explanation here. So this is a nice thing to go through. So you can go through as a homework, because now we want to read about the Guru Aparādha. Alright? So you try to read this. Alright, so coming back to this position, to this verse here, the offense against the Guru. Therefore, if one does not take care to attain Krishna in this temporary body, one will die and obtain some other body, losing the opportunity to escape from the material prison. The intelligent person, having attained a human birth in this world, will take shelter of a spiritual master, who will act as a captain to guide the jiva over the ocean of material nature with the instructions of Bhakti Yoga. This is the importance of the Guru. So this is what the Guru should do. One should approach the qualified Guru. Now, that's an important word. One should approach the qualified Guru, that person who is a devotee of Krishna and has conquered over the senses, and inquire submissively from him. So if he is not conquered over the senses, he cannot be a guru. And that is explained in the first verse of the Nectar of Instruction. You all know this already, I think. Vacho vegam manasah krodha vegam jihva vegam udaropastha vegam etan veganyo vishaheta dhiraha sarvam apimam prithivim sasishyat. A sober person who can tolerate the urge to speak, the mind's demands, the actions of anger, and the urges of the tongue, belly, and genitals is qualified to make disciples all over the world. And if one cannot control these urges, then he cannot become a spiritual master and accept disciples all over the world. One has to be the Uttamadhikari. Only he can control. Recently there was a video made by one of the gurus in ISKCON saying that, a guru does not necessarily have to be on the Uttamadhikari platform to be a guru. The more important aspect is that one should have a physically present guru. Otherwise it's against the tradition of Guru Parampara system. It's a very weak argument, because whether physically present or not, the knowledge is what he is conveying to the disciple. That is the more important thing. They fail to see this. And also, a guru has to be qualified and authorized. He has to be qualified as a first class devotee, and he has to be authorized by the guru. And this so-called guru, he unnecessarily twisted the meaning. Plain evidence. He just covered it up. The July 9th letter he did not even show. He just said, they just based their thing on one letter. And what letter? Some July 9th letter. And what is there in the letter? He did not show. And then they show the May 28th conversation, which is where he says, where he was asked what to do regarding initiations, particularly at that time when you are no longer with us. Then Prabhupada immediately says Ritvik there, officiating Acharya and then Ritvik. But they did not even mention that. He did not even mention. He just said grand disciple, grand disciple, disciple of my disciple. The last part of the conversation. And we have explained this at length in our series of, on the Ritvik system. So, there is no doubt about it that Prabhupada wanted. And also in the July 9th letter, it's clearly mentioned that henceforward, this system has to be followed, and then there is no mention there that this should be stopped at any time, even if that means Prabhupada's physical absence. But they said no, it is only meaning until his physical presence. Is not meant for eternity or until 10,000 years. So it was very, very, very poor arguments, honestly. I was appalled. This is the state of argument. This is the level of argument that gurus can give. Of course, when you are covering up something, then you have to really hide the evidence. But if you have nothing to hide, then you can. If you see the evidence objectively, then it's very clear that Prabhupada wanted this Ritvik system of initiations to continue. Alright, so this is the qualification of a guru. More will be said about the qualification of guru below in this explanation by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Haridas Thakur. One should approach the qualified guru, that person who is a devotee of Krishna and has conquered over the senses, and inquire submissively from him. Being satisfied with his answers, the jiva takes initiation from him and thus crosses over the material ocean. Having attraction for Krishna, he will give up useless material logic, take shelter of higher knowledge, and receive mantra initiation from the spiritual master. There is a Bhagavad Gita verse, which is 434. Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanta te jnanam jnanena sattvadarshina. So one who is a grihastha should accept a guru but remain in his duties of varnashram. If a brahmana is a Krishna devotee, he can serve as a guru for the varnas. But if there is no suitable person of brahmana birth, one can receive initiation from a guru of another varna. If there is a choice, the grahastha should choose the bona fide guru of higher caste. But in any case, the main qualification by which to judge who is suitable bona fide guru is how much the guru knows about Krishna. He may be Brahmana or Shudra, householder or sannyasi, but this makes no difference in the guru's ability to deliver the jiva. So here you see, Guru Naramati, Vaishnava Jati Buddhi. It is an offense to consider the Guru coming from some caste or Vaishnava coming from some, or Guru to consider him an ordinary human being and Vaishnava to be coming from a caste. But these instructions are mentioned like higher Varna and all these things for social, conditioning. I mean, social, acceptance. Even Sanatana Goswami, when he wrote Hari Bhakti Vilas, he wrote similar things, which is acceptable to the Smartha society. But honestly, it doesn't make any difference spiritually, whether one is a Shudra, Vaishnava, whatever it is. So many verses are there to prove this. The real qualification is that he has to be a pure devotee. So that's why it is said here, in any case, the main qualification by which to judge who is suitable bona fide guru is how much the guru knows about Krishna. What is that? Kiba vipra kibanyasi shudra kene noy Jai Krishna Tattvavit Shay Guru hoy. It doesn't matter which varna he comes from. If he knows the signs of Krishna, he can be guru. So he may be Brahmana or Shudra, householder, sannyasi, but this makes no difference in the guru's ability to deliver the jiva. So guru must be able to deliver the jiva first of all. If he can't even deliver himself, what are you going to deliver the jiva? So he must be first of all be able to deliver and deliver so many others also. This should be the main consideration in choosing a guru if one desires to progress to pure attraction for Krishna. In other words, if there is a qualified guru of high caste, there is no necessity of seeking a guru of a lower caste. But if the higher caste guru is not qualified as a Krishna Bhakta, one should not take Dīkṣā from him on the basis of his high caste alone. Rather, one should take a qualified guru of a lower caste. The qualification of knowing Krishna and being a devotee of Krishna is the important consideration. Again, I mean, these are more customary or social rather than spiritual. This accepting of this caste or that caste. But the main thing is the pure devotion. In the case of a householder who cannot find proper spiritual life in Grahastha ashram, he should take a bona fide guru who is not a householder. In other words, if one renounces household life and is seeking spiritual guidance, one should take shelter of an acharya who has successfully renounced household life and receive Dīkṣā and Śikṣā from him in order to reach the desired goal of prema. But if the householder had a qualified guru previously, that previous guru should not be disrespected or rejected. He should be honored always. The householder may take a guru who is either a householder or renounced, either is suitable. Accepting guru and performing sadhana bhakti, the householder will eventually achieve the stage of bhava, at which time his attraction for family life and sense gratification will cease. At that stage, he will naturally give up household life and enter the renounced order. This person should seek out an acharya in the renounced order and take his instruction. Guru may be of two types, one who gives Dīkṣā with mantra and one who gives spiritual instruction. They should be considered equal in importance by one who wants to advance quickly. A person may accept only one Dīkṣā Guru but may have many Śikṣā Gurus who give Sambandha Jnān. See? So, one Dīkṣā Guru, but he can have many Śikṣā Gurus. The Sambandha Jnān or teachings are handed down in a Sampradaya from the founder Acharya of the Sampradaya. These original teachings and founder Acharya of the Sampradaya should be worshipped with all respect. One should be loyal to his conclusions and instructions, not taking teachings from others. You see, this is important. One should take teachings from Guru and not from others. Sometimes devotees want to do research somewhere, some Mayavad and this and that. So that's not good. That's not correct. And that is an offense. One should take from one's Guru. One should be loyal to his conclusions and instructions, not taking teachings from others. बहुवाक्य बहुशास्त्रे बहुवाक्य चित्त भ्रम होय, साध्य साधन श्रेष्ठ न होय निश्चय. Just go to that verse and come back here. CC Adi 16.11. If one becomes a bookworm reading many books and scriptures and hearing many commentaries and the instructions of many men, this will produce doubt within his heart. One cannot in this way ascertain the real goal of life. So, one should take as Shiksha Guru only a person who is following faithfully the teachings of that founder Acharya. To take initiation or teachings from a Mayavadi is useless. So, Shiksha Guru is a person who is following faithfully the teachings of the founder Acharya. In our case, the founder Acharya is Srila Prabhupada. And a Shiksha Guru is a person who is faithfully following that person. Otherwise, he is not a Shiksha Guru even, or to speak of Dīkṣā Guru. Now, whoever takes or accepts such unauthorized teachings simply goes to hell. So, if one rejects the Guru's teachings and goes to take teachings from Mayavadi, simply goes to hell. Rejecting Krishna and learning anti-Krishna philosophy can only lead to ruination of one's life. How can a person be Guru and deliver others, not having achieved or being able to achieve perfection himself? This is very important. Okay? Look at this. How can a person be Guru and deliver others, not having achieved or being able to achieve perfection himself? You see? This is the precise question we want to ask the ISKCON Gurus. They say that we don't have to be pure devotees. We just will bring you to Prabhupada. Prabhupada will take you back to Godhead. We are just doing as a service on behalf of Prabhupada, they are saying. But mantra, their own mantra. As if, they are the pure devotee. If I say Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya, that means I'm saying that, this person has achieved the lotus feet of Krishna. And if he has achieved the lotus feet of Krishna, then he should be, pure. Otherwise, we are not yet pure. We are on that path, you can say like that. But having achieved, that is a big statement. So, a person must be a Vishnupada, Krishna Preshtha, very intimately related with Krishna, very dear to Krishna. Of course, all devotees are dear to Krishna, but especially the Mahabhagavad Uttama Adhikari is especially more dear. So, how can a person be a Guru and deliver others not having achieved or being able to achieve perfection himself? Haridas Thakur. Thus, Guru, whether Śikṣā or Dīkṣā, must be the servant of Krishna and an associate of the Lord eternally in Vrindavan who has been especially empowered by Krishna. Of course, Shiksha Gurus, there are many levels. But, the person who actually gives us a Sambandha Gyan, in fact, Srila Prabhupada is giving us the Śikṣā also. He is the one who is giving us real teachings. Other Shiksha Gurus who repeat the words of the Dīkṣā Guru. So, that's why, because we repeat Prabhupada's words, therefore the words are perfect, not on our qualification. See? One should serve the Guru with great devotion, knowing him to be directly empowered by Krishna, the dearmost servant of Krishna and one's own eternal spiritual guide. By such sincere service to the Guru, one can cross over the material ocean. So, now this is important. We have to worship both the Dīkṣā Guru and Shiksha Guru also. Not that Dīkṣā Guru we will worship and Shiksha Guru, let him, be on his own and I don't need to respect him. No, that is also not correct. Because Shiksha Guru is representing the Dīkṣā Guru. A senior devotee who is Shiksha Guru, he also should be worshipped. Of course, we are not saying that, we put a big Vyasa Puja for him or something like that. Not like that. But as a representative of the Dīkṣā Guru, one should follow his instructions and be ready to serve him in all ways, menial ways. And that's why we develop our humility. Nowadays, it has become a trend that if somebody worships or if somebody serves a senior devotee, the onlooker, so-called devotee, so-called Prabhupadanuga, a follower of Prabhupada, so-called. So he sees, oh, this person is getting served by others. He is so impudent, so arrogant that he is getting served by others. Instead of developing the mood of humility, he is trying to check the humility of that senior devotee. Where is his own humility? How are we going to advance if we don't serve senior devotees? How? Prabhupada absolutely rejected this attitude. He said you have to follow your temple authorities. You cannot say, oh, there is some irregularity, I will leave. No. First of all, who are we to judge whether something is irregularity or not? Who? Yeah? If we are seeing from a defective eye, how can I know? So, this attitude is very important. We have to be very, very humble. Rajeshwari Mataji is saying, Śikṣā and Dīkṣā Gurus must be the servant of Krishna. Prabhuji, does this apply to only our Sampradaya or all Sampradayas? All Sampradayas, I mean the Vaishnavism, this is the principle of Vaishnavism. So, one should serve the Guru. So, Śikṣā or Dīkṣā, one should serve the Guru with great devotion, knowing him to be directly empowered by Krishna. The dearmost servant of Krishna and one's own eternal spiritual guide. Especially Srila Prabhupada, of course, is very, very dear. But those who are sincerely serving Prabhupada, they are also very dear to Krishna. Because Mad Bhaktanam cha ye bhaktas te me bhaktatamamataha. Those who are devotees of Krishna's devotee, Krishna considers them as his real devotee. So one who is sincerely serving the instruction of our Dīkṣā Guru, he is especially empowered. So such a person we should readily serve like a menial servant. See, during Prabhupada's time, Prabhupada was treated with utmost respect. They enter the room, they bow down. They leave the room, they bow down. In fact, they used to talk to him, say, your divine grace, like that to Prabhupada. Very, very respectful and very, very careful. Not like neglectful, So this mood we have to cultivate when we are in the association of senior devotees. We have to serve with respect. We have to, menially serve like a menial servant. That acharan dasavan nicha. That principle should be. When Prabhupada was there physically, he was traveling all over the world. The devotees have to learn that same etiquette with their own temple authorities. That's how we're going to grow. We cannot grow with being, trying to advise the devotees what to do. No. We need advice. Where are we? What are we doing? We need advice. See? So, one should serve the Guru with great devotion, knowing him to be directly empowered by Krishna, the dearmost servant of Krishna and one's own eternal spiritual guide. By such sincere service to Guru, one can cross over the material ocean. What is the procedure for worshipping the Guru? So, before we go there, I just want to add this point. So, if we disrespect Śikṣā Gurus, that is also a disrespect for the Dīkṣā Guru, because they are his representative. And if we don't respect them, that means we don't have much respect for Prabhupada also. So it's not like we are dāsa. If we only say dāsa, but if we don't behave like that, then what are we learning? So Prabhupada does not mean that I will just go to hell with all etiquette. I'll just serve Prabhupada. No, I will go to hell. Along with my lack of etiquette which has gone to hell, I will also go to hell. So I cannot do like that. So many people get it wrong and they immediately are criticizing those senior devotees who receive some service from the junior devotees. That is their mercy. If they allow them junior devotees to serve, they have to serve. Then only they will improve. Of course, their own. If the senior devotee gets pride and he thinks that he should be worshipped, that is different. That is nonsense. But he should allow junior devotees to serve so that they will learn the etiquette. It is for their benefit. How to serve. Then only the, what is it said? Humility comes. Otherwise, the junior devotee, if he is never trained to serve the senior devotees, then he will always treat the senior devotee as some, like nothing. So this is very dangerous for our spiritual life. And it will be the third offense. So our Śikṣā Gurus also, we must be very, very respectful, very careful in this regard. Not be careless, then we will be like Hatimata. Like mad elephant offense. So what is the procedure for worshipping the Guru? First, one should worship the Guru offering Padya, Arghya, etc. That means the Arati and all this. So this is of course done for the Dīkṣā Guru. Then taking his permission, worship the Lord. Then one should offer Krishna's prasad to the Guru, the Vaishnavas, the Demigods and the forefathers. With the Guru in mind, one should worship Krishna, and with the Guru in mind, one should chant Krishna's name. You see? The Guru in mind, one should worship Krishna. With the Guru in mind, one should chant Krishna's name. So we must pray to Srila Prabhupada. In fact, there is a song by Narottam Das Thakur, Shri Rupa Manjari Pada. So in the first verse, he says, Shaymor Bhajana Pujana, Shaymora Mantra Japa, Shaymora Pranadhana, Shaymora Abharana, Shaymora Jivaner Jivana. So he is saying Rupa Goswami is the goal of all my sacrifices, goal of all my mantra japa and my all my spiritual practices. He is my life of my life. So when I first saw the song, I was like, what? Rupa Goswami's feet is his goal of mantra japa. But we are chanting Krishna's name. Why is Rupa Goswami? Because at the feet of such Acharya will be the entire entrance to the spiritual world. At the feet of the Acharya. So, there is no way we can enter the spiritual world without the feet of the Acharya. So, he should be, in fact, that is the whole spiritual thing. The spiritual life is different, opposite from the material life, in the sense, the more we become servant of the servant of the servant, the more it is blissful. And the more Krishna finds us dear. We want to be dear to Krishna, and I want to be one of the Ashtasakhis. Krishna is the most displeased with us, if we think that way. But if we think that I want to be the servant of the servant million times of my spiritual master, then Krishna notices, that person, I am interested in that person. So that's how Krishna sees. So the more we become humble and consider ourselves servant, the more he is satisfied. That does not mean now some bhakta who joined, he suddenly started to think, I am the servant of, I am sweeping the floor. That temple president, he is not so dear to Krishna, I am dear to Krishna. The moment we think we are dear to Krishna, that's when we become far away from Krishna. That's when Krishna actually, really has zero interest in us. The qualification of thing is not what service we are doing, but how we are doing it. Bhavagrahi Janardana. Bhavagrahi. What bhava are we doing it in? Not what are we doing. Then one should offer Krishna's prasad to the Guru, the Vaishnavas, the Demigods and the forefathers. So one should learn how to serve the Vaishnavas. Prasadam. Bhunkte bhojayate chaiva shadvidham priti lakshanam. One will develop nice relations with devotees by serving prasadam and accepting prasadam, like that. With the Guru in mind, one should worship Krishna. With the Guru in mind, one should chant Krishna's name. That's why Prabhupada introduced this Guru Vashtaka in the morning, Guru Vandana, all these things, and our Gayatri mantra also has Guru Gayatri. So there is a lot of emphasis on the Guru, because without him there's no way we can get to Krishna. Consequently, if one disobeys or disrespects the Guru, that is offensive and will block one's progress in bhakti. As in the case of showing proper respect and devotion to the Sādhu and to Krishna, similarly, by properly serving the Guru and chanting the holy name, one can get quick success. Having firm faith in the Guru, one can by the strength of the pure name attain the goal of prema. When should a Guru be rejected? Very important topic. Now, we should serve the Guru with great faith and devotion. But we should also know when to, reject. It may happen that through Asat Sangha, a Guru may lose his qualifications. Now, this is especially now let us first of all understand what is the Guru's qualifications. He should be a pure devotee and he should be authorized by his Guru. And sometimes it may happen that the Guru may authorize someone who is not a perfect pure devotee to continue initiating. May happen. It did happen, something like that, before Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. There was a gap of about 200 years between Narottam Das Thakur and Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. And Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said in his song of the Parampara song, he actually wrote a song writing all the names of the Acharyas in our Parampara, starting from Brahma. So, Narottam Das Thakur's servant is mentioned as Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. But we know that between them was 200 years gap. And there were 4 other Gurus who were not pure devotees, who were, there in between. But they were not mentioned in the Parampara. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is mentioned. So only pure devotees count in the Parampara. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur took all his teachings from Narottam Das Thakur only. His writings, his. So his Guru is Narottam Das Thakur. That is what Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur has revealed. So the other Gurus may, guide or even may have accepted some disciples. But as we know in the Nectar of Instruction, verse 5 purport, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that a second class and third class person may also become Guru and may accept disciples, but such disciples will not be of very high standard. So a person who is not on the first class level, he cannot elevate them adequately. So how did he elevate? How was Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur elevated then? Because he took shelter of Narottam Das Thakur, although he was not physically present at all. So it may happen. So if those second and third class devotees, this may happen. But first class, especially third class, it will happen. Even second class is not very advanced. Advanced, but not very advanced. Third class, he will himself fall down. So third class will definitely fall. So if the Gurus are falling down, they are third class. And ISKCON has so many fallen down Gurus. And they say, not all have fallen down, some have not fallen down. Disobedience is already a fall down. And some of the fall downs are more subtle than others. The fall downs that are there in our present ISKCON is either sexual fall downs or some kind of a money stolen, and mostly it's sexual, predominantly. But other than sexual fall downs, there are other fall downs, like going to Mayavad philosophy is a big fall down. And big Gurus in ISKCON are doing that right now. And to misrepresent the teachings of the Dīkṣā Guru is a fall down. Like the other day, this Guru, this was 2 days ago only, yesterday, I was watching that video, about 1 hour. He gave a lecture about why Ritvik system is wrong. So in that he was misrepresenting the teachings of Prabhupada and hiding clear evidence and presenting indirect evidence, just like the Mayavadis would do, the Shankaracharya's philosophy. And what is that? Lakshana Vritti or Gauna Vritti. That is indirect meaning. Whereas direct meaning is Abhidha Vritti or Mukhya Vritti. So instead of taking the Mukhya Vritti, they take the Abhidha, they take the Gauna Vritti and tell indirect meaning. So he was doing the same thing. So that is a fall down. That is offense. But these are not considered as offenses, you see. So it's quite unfortunate. But so to even recognize a devotee as offended requires some, mercy, mercy from the real Guru. But now it has become a norm in ISKCON that Guru doesn't have to be an Uttamadhikari. That's the conclusion they have come to now. So this is wrong, completely wrong. It is against the Shastra at all. He has to be an Uttamadhikari. But here it is mentioned these things is when he is not of such a standard. But Prabhupada's definition is clear. He has to be an Uttamadhikari. I think you know the conversation with Akshayananda Maharaj, one of the disciples of Prabhupada, about some other devotee named Nitai. So Prabhupada was very furious when Akshayananda Swami, he told that this Nitai Prabhu is saying that Guru can fall down because Brahma fell down and all that. Prabhupada said, who's that rascal? So angry he was. He said, who's that rascal? The Nitai. Oh, Nitai? Our Nitai? He's telling like this? No, he was just thinking. So he just thought what he thought. He just said what he thought. He's thinking he's already rascal. Now he's saying that to others. Even more rascal. He was very, very vehement, Sri Prabhupada. So no chance of that. Because he wanted to make it very clear over what the standard is. Because he knew there was an undercurrent going on in ISKCON. He's not blind. He knows everything that's going on. He could sense everything. So, when should a guru be rejected? It may happen that through asatsanga, a guru may lose his qualifications. Starting as a big guru by committing namaparad, he loses his knowledge. By offending other Vaishnavas, he loses the taste for the name and gradually falls under the control of wealth and women. Such a guru should be rejected. By the mercy of Krishna, that disciple will obtain a new bona fide guru and take up pure chanting of the name again. So if one happens to, have a guru who is not bona fide, then one can reject him and take new bona fide guru. Bona fide guru is the word. If a guru takes unsuitable people for disciples, he will have to suffer for that. And if a disciple takes an unqualified guru, he will accordingly suffer. In order to avoid these misfortunes, one should be cautious. This is very important. This is something interesting. A guru, if he takes unsuitable people for disciples, he will have to suffer for that. Of course, this is Srila Prabhupada said, yes, I know, I am accepting people who are, falling away from the standards, and I am prepared to go to hell for Lord Chaitanya's service. And Prabhupada said like that. So that is different, and for such risk, of course, Krishna will protect. But the guru will suffer. That's why Prabhupada suffered, because of the mistakes by the disciples, so that it is to remind the disciples that this is causing pain to Prabhupada, and he will accordingly suffer. And if a disciple takes an unqualified guru, he will accordingly suffer. So this is actually more dangerous. Now, the guru suffering for disciple, now that is also not good. And of course, Krishna, for taking such a risk, Krishna will definitely protect such a devotee, provided that guru has given his everything to instruct the disciple properly. Now, if there is a so-called guru who is just initiating unqualified people on and on and on without any, checking on balance and check and balance, just initiating, then Krishna will protect. What are you doing? What kind of nonsense service is this? You suffer. Better you suffer. But if a guru actually instructs everything, he does everything to elevate the disciple, but still the disciple doesn't make it. So for such risks, of course, Krishna will protect the guru, but not a so-called irresponsible person. And a pure devotee will not be irresponsible. Only irresponsible person, guru means he is not a pure devotee. He is not qualified to be there. For such person, they will suffer. And disciple, if he takes an unqualified guru, he will also suffer. See, that is why it is said, sometimes it is argued that, but in ISKCON there are many disciples and devotees who are sincere, what happens to them? Well, this is the thing. Even if they come with sincerity, if they take the wrong guru, that is very unfortunate. And that is explained here. I think Prabhu has shown this many, many times. I have not memorized this verse until now. Tesham kupatha deshtrinam patatham tamasi hyadha yeshradadhyur vachastevai majjantyashmaplava iva 6:7-14 Bhagavatam. Leaders who have fallen into ignorance and who mislead people by directing them to the path of destruction, as described in the previous verse, are in effect boarding a stone boat, and so too are those who blindly follow them. A stone boat would be unable to float and would sink in the water with its passengers. Similarly, those who mislead people go to hell and their followers go with them. So they also suffer. You see, the followers will suffer. So even if they are sincere, if they take shelter of a wrong person, then they have to suffer the consequences. You see? On the other hand, as long as both guru and disciple are properly qualified, the relationship will continue. Either of them is not qualified, the relationship is gone. Ideally, this relationship is eternal. But if the disciple becomes bad, the guru must reject him. And if the guru becomes bad, the disciple must reject him. Otherwise, both may fall. Better one than both. Collateral damage. So, it's like, if somebody is drowning and if somebody goes to help him and the person, in his frantic efforts to, come out of the water, and he drags that person also down, then both also die. So, if a person cannot save the other person, then you better not go, because at least one person will die. Otherwise, two people will die. So, ideally this relationship is eternal, but if the disciple becomes bad, the guru must reject him, and if the guru becomes bad, the disciple must reject him. Otherwise, both may fall. Better one than both. In order to prevent, if there is a stone boat, you better jump out. If you don't jump out, no, I want to follow my guru, all will fall. And so take shelter of the real proper boat. In order to prevent the pain of having to reject one's guru, one should first carefully examine him to see if he is a pure devotee of Krishna. See, this is very important. Pure devotee, not just anybody. Even in receiving a material article, one examines it for quality, right? Everything nice or not, like any scratches, we check. Like, the other day, I think about 1 month back, somebody came and to buy books, and I was selling the book, and then the book was a little bit, 2 pages were like a little bit folded on the corner, a little bit. No, I don't want like this. I want full, nice edges and everything. I don't want this kind of fold. Of course, I knew the knowledge is going to be the same, but of course, she wants quality in the actual quality of the paper. Okay, I just said, all right, fine. So I just gave the new one. So you see, not only for book, but anything, when you buy a phone or a laptop or anything, we always check if everything is nice and everything. And we make sure that it's all good quality, right? So why not guru? So we should check like that. Guru is, both should check. What is that? Dui pariksha. What is that? Caitanya Mahaprabhu says in 24th chapter of Mandir, I think. Is it this one? No. Let's see if it is this one. No, Dui Pariksha. I think it's 330. Let's see. गुरु लक्षण शिष्य लक्षण दोहार परीक्षण सेव्य भगवान सर्वमंत्र विचारण. Your book, Sanatana Goswami is being instructed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu here. He is asking to write book on all the Vaishnava principles. Your book should describe the characteristics of the bona fide guru and the bona fide disciple. Then, before accepting the spiritual master, one can be assured of the spiritual master's position. Similarly, the spiritual master can also be assured of the disciple's position. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, should be described as a worshipable object, and you should describe the Bija mantra for the worship of Krishna as well as that for Rama or any other expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So, Dohar Parikshan, the testing of both. So, both must test each other. The symptoms of a bona fide spiritual master and the symptoms of a bona fide disciple. The problem is, we don't know how to test. That's the problem. Nobody is going to read Sanatana Goswami's book and then come to Krishna consciousness to test out who is the proper guru. Huh? They're going to consult Sanatana Goswami's Haribhakti Vilas and then come and see who is the guru. Is it? Nobody does that, right? They just receive a book, Prabhupada's book, and then they read, they like, then they go to the temple, they don't know nothing about nothing, and just go there and then, Hare Krishna, what is it? Namo Vishnu Pada. Oh, Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Oh, okay. Kiba Jaya, Jaya Gora. What are they singing? Well, I don't know anything. So, with that, how would they test who is Guru, who is what, and who is bona fide? That's why it says Guru Krishna Prasada Paya Bhakti Lata Bij. But once one knows a little bit, then he will know actually what is the Guru and Shishya and what is that. But to save us, and in Kali Yuga, we are preaching in all kinds of countries where Indians themselves don't know how to do this. How can you expect to go to China and then expect the Chinese to read Haribhakti Vilas of Sanatana Goswami and then check whether who is proper Guru? So, Prabhupada is so merciful that he has removed that responsibility from our side. Our only responsibility is now to follow. We don't need to test where is the Guru, no need tension, no jhanjat. Just accept Prabhupada and go ahead. So, of course, now here in the purport, you see in the Padma Purāṇa, the characteristics of the Guru, the bona fide spiritual master, have been described. Mahabhagavata Shrestho Brahmano Vai Gurur Nirnam Sarveshameva Lokanam Asau Pujyo Yatha Harih Mahakula Prasutopi Sarva Yagneshu Dīkṣitah Sahasrashakhaadhyayi cha Naguru Syata Vaishnavah. The Guru must be situated on the topmost platform of devotional service. Mahabhagavata Shrestho. Not some Bhakta Praya, almost devotee who is like third class. No, Mahabhagavata Shrestha. There are three classes of devotees and the Guru must be accepted from the topmost class. Let's highlight that. This is very important. The first class devotee is a spiritual master for all kinds of people. It is said Guru Nirnam. The word Nirnam means of all human beings. The Guru is not limited to a particular group. It is stated in the Upadeshamrita of Rupa Goswami that the Guru is a Goswami, a controller of the senses and mind. Such a Guru can accept disciples from all over the world. Prithivim sa Śikṣā. This is the test of a Guru. So, it's not ordinary thing, This purport is extremely long. You can go and read. Okay? This is very, 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 very long purport. Very important purport actually. Very, very important purport. Okay? Go and read as a homework. So, even receiving a material article, one examines it for quality. Once having accepted a qualified Guru, if one disobeys his instruction, one commits a grave offense. By that, even the demigods can fall down to hell by offending a Guru, proper qualified Guru. So that is the context of that verse, which is 6:7-14. You see, this 6:7-14 is coming from this 6:7, this first verse itself. We have visited this many times, but just to recap the memory, and maybe some of you have not seen this before, and so we will go through this. Maharaj Parikshit inquired from Shukadeva Goswami, O great sage, why did the spiritual master of the demigods Brihaspati reject the demigods, who were his own disciples? Now, Guru is rejecting disciples here. There is a disciple who rejected Guru, who is Bali Maharaj, Shukracharya. Bali Maharaj rejected Shukracharya. This water has went into my windpipe. Okay. So, here the Guru is rejecting disciple. Two examples. So, O great sage, why did the spiritual master of the demigods Brihaspati reject the demigods, who were his own disciples? What offense did the demigods commit against their spiritual master? Please describe to me this incident. So, they have offended the spiritual master. Guru Aparādha. Today's topic. Shukadeva Goswami said, O king, once upon a time, king of heaven Indra, being extremely proud because of his great opulence of the three worlds, transgressed the law of Vedic etiquette. Seated on his throne, he was surrounded by the Maruts, Vasus, Rudras, Adityas, Rubhus, Vishwadevas, Sadhyas, Ashwini Kumaras, Siddhas, Charanas and Gandharvas, and by great saintly persons. Also surrounding him were the Vidyadharas, Apsaras, Kinnaras, Patagas and Uragas. Patagas is birds and Uragas snakes, heavenly birds and snakes. All of them were offering Indra their respects and services, and the Apsaras and Gandharvas were dancing and singing with very sweet musical instruments. Over Indra's head was a white umbrella as effulgent as the full moon, fanned by yak-tail whisks, which is the chamara, and served with all the paraphernalia of a great king. Indra was sitting with his wife Shachi Devi, who occupied half the throne, when the great sage Brihaspati appeared in that assembly. Brihaspati, the best of the sages, was the spiritual master of Indra and the demigods, and was respected by the demigods and demons alike. Dhira Dhira Janapriyo. He was respected both by the Dhira and the Adhira, the demons and the demigods. Nevertheless, although Indra saw his spiritual master before him, he did not rise from his own seat or offer a seat to his spiritual master. Nor did Indra offer him a respectful welcome. Indra did nothing to show him respect. This was his offense. He just did not get up and offer the seat. A king, although sitting on a throne, if a great saintly person comes, he should get down this throne. Not that put the Sādhu there and then talk with him. And he is sitting on a high throne. No. Especially, of course, sometimes the king is of great, he himself, like Ambarish Maharaj, Prithu Maharaj, themselves were great devotees. They were pure devotees, even better than even the sages, other sages. But especially a person of the status of Brihaspati and a great spiritual master like that, one has to get up immediately. Romaharshan Sudha, he did not get up and he was killed by Balaram. Because Balaram was there and he not only rejected, Balaram is the spiritual master of the entire universe, entire existence. He is the original Guru, Adi Guru. And Romaharshan Sudha did not get up. Although he was sitting on the Vyasasana, and usually a person on the Vyasasana is not obliged to get up when anybody comes. But if a Guru comes, what to speak of Balaram, the original Guru? He did not get up, and Balaram, being a Guru, not only rejected, but killed Romaharshan Sudha just for not getting up. You may say, whoa, what kind of a Guru is that? He cannot even control his senses. Immediately you can criticize the Guru. But it is setting an example how dangerous it is. Death is better than offending a Guru, because that is how grave it is. Of course, since Balaram killed him, when the Supreme Personality of Godhead kills someone, he will be liberated. So that's another aspect of the whole thing. But he showed this very strict example of how a Guru must be honored. And Indra did not do it to his spiritual master. Now, this whole thing is in the context of offending spiritual master. So Indra did nothing to show him respect. Now, in today's context, so many Gurus are taking up the place of Prabhupada. Same thing. They are not showing respect to Prabhupada. They are completely disrespecting him, disobeying him. Now, Brihaspati knew everything that would happen in the future. Seeing Indra's transgression of etiquette, he completely understood that Indra was puffed up by his material opulence. Although able to curse Indra, he did not do so. Instead, he left the assembly and in silence returned to his home. Indra, the king of heaven. Now, you may say, hey, okay, if Brihaspati is such a great spiritual master, why is he so, so affected by somebody not standing up? I thought, like Rishabdev, people insult him and throw stones at him or throw stool and urine. He should not be agitated. And why is he agitated just because he did not get up? What kind of guru is he? Nowadays people are into this kind of questioning. Instead of checking themselves, they check the guru. Yes, you have to check the guru, but you must see because we are so imperfect, we cannot check the guru properly. This is our problem. We cannot understand the chastisement of the guru. It is good for us. We say that how he is becoming angry, that means he is not a guru. He is not a devotee. Why is he becoming angry? We don't ask. And we don't understand even the value of chastisement and So, Brihaspati is doing this to teach Indra a lesson, thinking of Indra's welfare. Not for his own. He is not concerned. What would he gain, whether he curse or bless Indra? He would not gain anything. He is not that he will enjoy the heavenly opulences or nothing. He will gain nothing. In fact, he can destroy the heaven in 1 second and burn it into ashes. Brihaspati is so powerful. With his one curse, he could curse Indra. You see, it is said here, he could curse Indra. King of heaven, with a thunderbolt, a powerful weapon and all this. One curse, finished. So powerful, these sages. But he did not do it. Just like Parishit Maharaj could have cursed, but he did not do it. He could have cursed back that Shringi. He did not retaliate. But he expressed his dissatisfaction so that the disciple will understand. This is also a matter of training. These are all nuances we have to notice and not simply jump on some devotee who's trying to correct us for our own benefit and then he's nonsense, he's just puffed up. And that does not give a blanket license for a senior devotee to just shout at the junior devotee. No, it should come from a place of compassion. It should come from a place of genuine care. And you will be able to notice, if we are intelligent enough, we will be able to notice whether it's coming from a place of caring or whether from a place of absolute hatred. So, it's two different things. And if you are on the receiving end of such chastisement, we should see that, okay, how can I satisfy this person? Of course, that person should be a, dedicated disciple of Srila Prabhupada, he should be properly situated in his sadhana and in his service and his everything. Then we have to think of how to satisfy. Okay, what can I mend in myself? Here is a great lesson for me. I can improve myself instead of trying to find fault with the devotees. So indeed, he left the assembly, Brihaspati, and in silence returned to his home. Indra, the king of heaven, could immediately understand his mistakes. So you see, Brihaspati taught him without speaking a single word. And Indra was smart enough, intelligent enough to understand this also. Indra, the king of heaven, could immediately understand his mistake. Realizing he had disrespected his spiritual master, he condemned himself in the presence of all the members of the assembly. See, the repentance must be there. Not just personal repentance, public repentance. For an Indra, like a king and who is served by everybody, to honestly say like that how condemned I am, how much humility it takes. So you see, he is also showing. You see, a disciple may commit mistakes, because he is not perfect. So, but when he commits mistakes, he should repent. This is also proper behavior shown by Indra here. Not in the first instance where he did not respect the spiritual master, but now, the repentance. If one has accidentally committed a mistake, it's not that intentionally he wanted to disrespect, but he was puffed up. And when Brihaspati did that to him, just walked off, then he could understand. Then he realized the mistake. Then he repented and repented publicly. So Indra, the king of heaven, could immediately understand his mistake. Realizing he had disrespected his spiritual master, he condemned himself in the presence of all the members of the assembly. Alas, what a regrettable deed I have committed because of my lack of intelligence and my pride in my material opulences. I failed to show respect to my spiritual master when he entered this assembly, and thus I have insulted him. Although I am king of the demigods, who am situated in the mode of goodness, I was proud of a little opulence and polluted by false ego. Under the circumstances, who in this world would accept such riches at the risk of falling down? Alas, I condemn my wealth and opulence. And he says, if a person says, one who is situated on the exalted throne of a king should not stand up to show respect to another king or a brahmana, it is to be understood that he does not know the superior religious principles. He realizes his mistake. And then he says this verse, leaders who have fallen into ignorance and who mislead the people by directing them to the path of destruction as described in the previous verse. What is the path of destruction? To offend the Guru. Are in effect boarding a stone boat. So now ISKCON, this is what is going on, offending the Guru. What is happening now? Boarding a stone boat. And so too are those who blindly follow them. Stone boat would be unable to float and would sink in the water with its passengers. Similarly, those who mislead people go to hell and their followers go with them. King Indra said, therefore, with great frankness and without duplicity, I shall now bow my head at the lotus feet of Brihaspati, the spiritual master of the demigods. Because he is in the mode of goodness, he is fully aware of all knowledge and is the best of the brahmanas. Now I shall touch his lotus feet and offer my obeisances unto him to try to satisfy him. While Indra, the king of the demigods, thought in this way and repented in his own assembly, Brihaspati, the most powerful spiritual master, understood his mind. Thus he became invisible to Indra and left home, for Brihaspati was spiritually more powerful than King Indra. Brihaspati did not allow. Although Indra searched vigorously with the assistance of the other demigods, he could not find Brihaspati. Then Indra thought, alas, my spiritual master has become dissatisfied with me and now I have no means of achieving good fortune. Yasya prasadat bhagavat prasado yasya aprasadan nagatih kutopi. Let me see actually the exact Sanskrit word. Guror na adhigatah samgyam parikshan bhagavan swarat dhyayan dhiya surair yuktah sharma nalabhatatmanaha. He could not find peace of mind. Hearing of the pitiable condition of King Indra, the demons, following the instruction of the Guru Shukracharya, equipped themselves with weapons and declared war against the demigods. The demigods' heads, thighs and arms and the other parts of their bodies were injured by the sharp arrows of the demons. The demigods headed by Indra saw no other course than to immediately approach Lord Brahma with bowed heads for shelter and proper instruction. You see, by offending the Guru, immediately what happened? He was attacked by the demons. So because of the dissatisfaction of the Guru, that's it. You see, Lord Brahma, when the most powerful Lord Brahma saw the demigods coming toward him, their bodies gravely injured by the arrows of the demons, he pacified them by his great causeless mercy and spoke as follows. Lord Brahma said, O best of the demigods, unfortunately, because of madness resulting from your material opulence, you failed to receive Brihaspati properly when he came to your assembly. Because he is aware of the Supreme Brahman and fully in control of his senses. See, Brihaspati is a qualified spiritual master, fully in control of senses and fully aware of the Supreme Brahman, Krishna. He is the best of the Brahmanas. Therefore, it is very astonishing that you have acted impudently towards him. Because of your misbehavior toward Brihaspati, you have been defeated by the demons. My dear demigods, since the demons were weak, having been defeated by you several times, how else could you, who were so advanced in opulence, be defeated by them? So you see, how else could you, who were so advanced in opulence, be defeated? Arjuna also expressed this when Krishna left. So advanced, but he was defeated by a bunch of cowherd men. Krishna having withdrawn his power. Of course, Arjuna was not offensive in this case. But in other words, only because of the mercy of the spiritual master or Krishna, in Arjuna's case, Krishna was the spiritual master. So only by the mercy of the spiritual master can we do anything properly in the matter of serving Krishna. Otherwise, we cannot do our service even properly. How else could you, who was so advanced in opulence, be defeated by them? Because you offended Brihaspati. O Indra, your enemies, the demons, were extremely weak because of their disrespect towards Shukracharya. They were also weak because of the disrespect. But since they have now worshipped Shukracharya with great devotion, they have again become powerful. By the devotion to Shukracharya, they have increased their strength so much that now they are even able to easily seize my abode from me. Brahma is saying they can take my abode also. Because of their firm determination to follow the instructions of Shukracharya, his disciples, the demons, are now unconcerned about the demigods. So you can see, O demigods, I instruct you to approach Vishwarupa, the son of Tvashta, and accept him as your guru. He is a pure and very powerful Brahmana undergoing austerity and penances. Please, by your worship, he will fulfill your desires, provided that you tolerate his being inclined to side with the demons. So anyway, he gave them recourse. But, ultimately, he had to repent for his So, anyway, this whole story goes. So, my point was that the offense to the spiritual master. So, once having accepted a qualified guru, if one disobeys his instructions, one commits a grave offense. By that, even the demigods can fall down to hell. How should the guru be respected? The guru's bed and seat, his shoes, car, water from washing his feet, and his image should be respected. So everything relating to the guru should be respected, especially Prabhupada. If one fails to respect them or worships someone else as guru in the guru's presence, that is devious mentality trying to minimize the bona fide guru. One should regard the guru as one's lord and master, obey his words and instructions, and when seeing him, fall flat on the ground. Even for Shiksha Guru, this is applicable. Especially a senior devotee, we should willingly and wholeheartedly do this. One should loudly glorify the Guru, never disobey his Guru. This is of course for the Dīkṣā Guru. One should loudly glorify the Guru, never disobey his order, take his prasad remnants, and not discuss anything that the Guru dislikes. Surrendering oneself humbly at the Guru's feet, one should act so that he is pleased. If one acts in this way and performs Krishna Nam Sankirtan, one will gain all perfections. That is the statement of the Vedas. The Guru will give proper teachings concerning the holy name, and after having established faith in the holy name in a person's heart, he will formally give him the name of Krishna or a mantra containing the name of Krishna to chant as his sadhana. This is Dīkṣā. So, see, let's read that again. The Guru will give proper teachings concerning the holy name, and after having established faith in the holy name in a person's heart, he will formally give him the name of Krishna or a mantra containing the name of Krishna to chant as his sadhana. This is Dīkṣā. See, so Nam Dīkṣā Guru. Here this word is used, Nam Dīkṣā Guru. So they say that this is Nam Guru. So Dīkṣā Guru is a person who gives you name, who gives you a spiritual name. Oh, now you are, say, Tattvavit das. And he gives you the beads to chant and all that. So that is how they are defining Nam Guru as in this con. But you see here, Nam Guru means what? Giving name means what? The Guru will give proper teachings concerning the holy name. And after having established faith in the holy name in a person's heart, he will formally give him the name of Krishna. So, who is convincing us? Prabhupada, through his books. And the Shiksha Gurus who repeat the words of Prabhupada, yes, they are, that is proper. Because it is coming from Prabhupada. So, Prabhupada is the one who is convincing us to chant the holy name, to take up the holy name. So, that is Nam Dīkṣā Guru. Not just, giving some name, formality. No. This is Dīkṣā. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is saying, or Haridas Thakur is saying, this is Dīkṣā. If by bad association or contact with bogus literature one happens to reject or disrespect such a bona fide Nama Dīkṣā Guru, one should immediately give up the bad association and literature and in sorrow approach the feet of one's Guru. Being all merciful, the Guru will reinstate him, and by again chanting sincerely, he will attain prema. That person who thinks himself lower than a blade of grass, aspires for the dust from the feet of Haridas Namacharya, will be qualified to sing always the touchstone of the holy name. So you see? So this is the end of this chapter. Guru Aparādha. So of course we have explained things about this the Ritvik system started by Srila Prabhupada, and so that is bona fide, and we have given extensive evidence. I think the evidence that we have given is the best on the internet. I'm not talking this like out of pride or something. It is just a fact. There is no material as comprehensive as what we have presented in our videos. The interview video that Prabhu has given, Sundar Gopal Prabhu, the IA-77 position paper, and especially the 5-part series we did, very, very comprehensive, extremely comprehensive. Even after that, we found some evidences about this Ritvik system. There is so much evidence, but they say we don't have any credible evidence. So now I'll take any questions that are here in the comment section. Just a second. Ramanujacharya also accepted Yamunacharya as his guru after his departure. Yes. Satyam Chaudhary is asking, please accept my humble obeisances, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. How can Guru fall down as it is mentioned in today's chapter? Because Guru is supposed to be an Uttama Adhikari, so he can fall down, Prabhu. So, no, Uttama Adhikari does not fall down. This is those Gurus who are not on the Uttama Adhikari platform. Or you have taken somebody as Guru and then you found out that he is not on Uttama Adhikari platform and he has fallen down. That is what it means here. So, in the beginning, without knowing, we may have taken initiation from someone and then we later found out that, this person is not on that level, he has fallen down. Okay, then take this recourse. Otherwise, the real Guru, Prabhupada said, there cannot be a bad Guru. Guru cannot be bad. Guru means he is the best of all. He is the spiritual master of the entire universe. He is qualified to be the spiritual master of the entire universe. So he can never be bad. So if bad Guru means he is not actually Guru. But he was taken as Guru due to some misunderstanding. But he turned out to be bad, so one has to reject him. Otherwise, the real Guru will never fall. So, Jayananda Das Prabhu is asking, Hare Krishna Prabhu, can you please explain the poison issue? Do you believe in Srila Prabhupada? You believe Srila Prabhupada was poison? Please explain the whole issue. Well, this is not exactly that topic, but yeah, it comes under the point of Guru Aparādha. It is very, very grave Aparādha. Srila Prabhupada, there is enough evidence to show that he was indeed poisoned. Srila Prabhupada himself said it with his own mouth. So, we can just imagine what kind of demons there were in the garb of devotees at the time, and they are the ones who became gurus after he was departed. So, of course, nobody can kill a pure devotee. But Srila Prabhupada, Prahlad Maharaj was given poison by his own father. Nothing happened to him. So nobody can actually kill a pure devotee. But if the pure devotee sees that, okay, it's time for me to leave this planet, then he will live. A pure devotee lives on his own, in his own way, not bound by ordinary circumstances. So it looks like he has, passed away because of the poison, but a spiritual master, he does not, he cannot be affected by these things. But the thing is, he chooses that time. Srila Prabhupada happened to choose that time as an excuse to leave this body. And in fact, Prabhupada also said that his spiritual master was disgusted with his third class disciples, and then he left the world early. He could have stayed much longer, but so actually there was also mentioned that his Guru Maharaj also was given poison, but Prabhupada never harped on that, because nobody can actually poison a pure devotee. But the attempt to do that is extremely offensive. It's not that, the pure devotee cannot be poisoned, so I can do whatever to him. No. That, let's see what happens, you see. So that's why the one who perpetrated this whole thing died a horrible death. Whether his so-called disciples like it or not, but that's what happened. He died in a car crash. Especially these last two lines of this verse, 9:469. Upayam kathayishyami tava vipra shrunushvatat ayam hyatma bhicharaste yatastam yahimachiram sadhushu prahitam tejah prahartuhu kurute shivam. O Brahmana, this is Lord Narayana speaking to Durvasa Muni, because Durvasa Muni offended Ambarish Maharaj. Let me now advise you for your own protection. Please hear from me. By offending Maharaj Ambarish, you have acted with self-envy. Therefore, you should go to him immediately without a moment's delay. One's so-called prowess, when employed against the devotee, certainly harms he who employs it, not the person. Thus, it is the subject, not the object, who is harmed. So, a pure devotee can never be harmed, but the person who tries to do this, he will be harmed. And what I would say, that this poison issue is not a one-off event. It has been going on since then. And whatever is happening to this movement is also still poisoning only. Poisoning with this, nonsense philosophy that Prabhupada is not the Guru, and introducing so many things that are completely against the devotional principles. All started from that one point where they disobeyed Prabhupada's instruction and disrespected him. Just like, Indra disrespected his spiritual master, and all things followed, and the demons, came and completely, destroyed his kingdom. So, it's all happening right in front of our eyes, and ISKCON is in big mess right now. They are fighting like anything internally. And it's just a matter of time where they will become irrelevant in society. Spiritually, they may grow in number, but if you dilute the quality, you may have numbers, but then what kind of quality will be there? Devotees have no control nowadays. Many big so-called influential devotees are talking nonsense, doing nonsense on videos on social media, publicly, without any shame, talking Mayavad philosophy, worshipping demigods. Anything goes. So, these are all telltale signs. By this we should already understand. An intelligent person should already understand the signs that this is very bad. This is going down the drain. So this poisoning is still happening, I would say. So that's why we should actually, we have to follow Srila Prabhupada's instructions strictly, and spread this movement based on those principles with full humility and cooperation with those who are serving, the senior devotees who are serving Srila Prabhupada's instruction. So we should cooperate together and do this as our service to Srila Prabhupada. We can never repay him, but we should do this much. We are duty bound. It's not a question of yeah, it will be good if you can do this. No, we have to do this. Why would Tamal Krishna Goswami poison him? I mean, he was a devotee and a servant of Prabhupada. Ask him. Prabhupada said, I was poisoned. Who else was there with him? And the tapes are there. Poison is going down. I mean, there is so much evidence. And you can see, immediately after the Prabhupada's physical departure, he was the first one to say that yes, we are all gurus now. And Jayadvaita Swami, who is now of course in ISKCON big time, but he himself was said, but where is the evidence, No, it is there, it's July 9th letter, it's all there. I am a secretary of Prabhupada, I know, this is what he meant. Nobody was qualified, and they did not know how to become guru. They went to Gaudiya Math to get instruction how to become guru. I mean, come on. The whole thing was a farce. And when he was in 1980, when Tamal Krishna Goswami was asked to step down from initiating new devotees because he was causing a lot of problems. Then he was suspended by the GBC to initiate. When he was suspended, then he took that opportunity to say that actually he spoke the truth, that actually Prabhupada never appointed any of us gurus, we have done a disservice. Then after that GBC, okay, you become guru now. Okay, then now he again became guru and started initiating. What kind of person is this? No integrity at all, no honesty, nothing. And I mean, there is so much evidence on this. Anyway, the point is that the movement is still being poisoned. Prabhupada is still being poisoned even now. So the only way to revive this is to follow strictly and expand and open more and more temples, make more and more devotees, train them up properly, into responsible devotees. Full temple life. Everything should be full standard to what Prabhupada has set up. That's what we should do. And then let time show who is the real follower and who is not. It's just a matter of time. But we have to stay. So it's not that we just criticize ISKCON, but we also need to learn from that. More important thing is that, they have disobeyed and all of that. But just to criticize and say that we are good, that's not enough. We can also become bad. They were also good in the beginning. They became bad because of unnecessary desires to become guru. So we should also stay on track always. We should observe those things, what happened to them, and then see these are all pitfalls, So we should not become victim to these things. Then we will create not only disservice for ourselves but for the entire movement. So the more and more responsible we become, the more and more careful we must be to strictly follow the instructions of Srila Prabhupada. Vijay Sharma Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, some devotees say if Srila Prabhupada was to continue as Dīkṣā Guru, then why doesn't the July letter say that Srila Prabhupada will be Dīkṣā Guru even when he will not be physically present? The word henceforward is there. What does henceforward mean? And they say no, it's only for until the physical body, because he would not have meant it to continue after his departure, because that is not the tradition. So that's what Prabhupada did not say, and they are inferring that. That's what he did not explicitly say. But henceforward explicitly means for all future. And also that May 20th question, particularly at the time when you are no longer with us. He said, officiating acharyas. Tamal Krishna Goswami asked, is that Ritvik? Yeah, Ritvik, yes. How did even Tamal Krishna introduce the word Ritvik in that conversation? That means, where Tamal Krishna Goswami will know the word Ritvik? Prabhupada told him. That means Prabhupada was having conversations with him about this Ritvik issue. And then, that's why Tamal Krishna referred to that word. And Prabhupada said, confirm that. Yes, Ritvik, yes. So particularly at that time when you are no longer with us. And of course after that, the questions were asked. Because Tattvavit Goswami could not understand what Prabhupada was mentioning. And yes, he is Guru. He will be his disciple who initiated. And who is the initiator? Prabhupada is the initiator. You become regular Guru, disciple. He becomes disciple of my disciple. But you become regular Guru, but on my order. Amar Agnya Guru Haya. So we have to, where is the Prabhupada's order? There's no order. He never said that this particular man should be the Guru. He never said that. But they assumed. And they say we are the ones who are assuming things. So, and the will of Prabhupada, the properties, provided the new directors will be my initiated disciples. It was actually an initiated disciples in the draft. He changed it to my initiated disciples. An initiated disciple means any initiated disciple. But he's particularly said the new, if this is in relation to the trustees. Of the various properties. So he said this persons are trustees of these properties, and in the case of, in the eventuality where one of them, any of them dies or does not follow anymore the principles and not have fallen away from the standards, then a new person can be appointed as trustees. But such a trustee should be my initiated disciple, following all the rules and regulations of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So it was in the draft, in the June 2nd, you can see Giriraj Swami, he was pointing out an initiated disciple. He was reading out that. So that was an initiated disciple. But in the final you see it's my initiated disciple. Prabhupada deliberately changed that. That's a very deliberate move by Srila Prabhupada. He was very careful in what he was doing, but they want to churn out some other meaning from it. Just like Prabhupada said about his spiritual master. He talked so many things, but he did not mention that this person is going to be the next guru. And then you may say, then how did Srila Prabhupada get the order from his guru? Well, that we do not know when, but he definitely got the order. He said, when my Guru Maharaj ordered me, I became guru. But Prabhupada also said, none of my god brothers are qualified to even become guru. It means they did not receive the order. They were not qualified also. He is a pure devotee and we can see him by his actions. See? So, I hope that answers that question. Now, Sheetal A is asking, Krishna is bhavagrahi, but while we are doing seva assigned to us by senior devotees, we sometimes tend to just do it as simple material activities. How do we correct that? Most times we forget the goal of seva as Krishna's satisfaction. Yes. So, we should always remind ourselves, that me doing a seva is for Krishna's satisfaction and for the devotee's satisfaction. The devotee's satisfaction is Krishna's satisfaction. He is not satisfied something else to serve Krishna. So, how to correct that means we should always remember that then. I am doing this for Krishna, So, let me do it to the best of my ability. The more we do nicely, the more Krishna will notice, he is putting a lot of effort to do service very nicely for me. So, he is in our heart, Paramatma. He is there right with us, sitting by our side, looking at what we are doing. He is not taking it seriously. He is taking it seriously. So, he knows what we are doing. So, we should just, anytime we forget, when we remember, we should, yes, Krishna is right with me and I have to satisfy the devotee. So, I must do with full attention, with attention to every detail of such service that is being given. See? So, that's the only way to correct that. Repent. Just like we learned, this Indra repented, right? So, we have to repent. I was not careful. Okay, now let me do it properly. So, that's how we should do. We should put full effort, as much as possible. Like as if our life depended on it. If our life depended on it, we will do everything possible to do, everything in our hands, right? If that is for our survival, well, it is for our spiritual survival. So we have to do everything possible to do it. Suppose that suppose for example my service is say garlands, making garlands for Krishna. Of course, I can learn from other devotees the basics, and once I get the basics right, then I can actually maybe even do some research. See some videos on how people make garlands and learn that art and make even nicer ones. Or if my ensure that how can I cook the best thing for Krishna. Every time, cook something new, something, nice, and put full efforts like that. And if my service is, say, to organize book distribution, okay, let me try my level best to convince every single person I meet. Let not a single person pass by without being asked. So that is the best effort, right? Every single person who comes out, I must ask. Not that, he will not take, he will not take. It looks like, you see his face, he doesn't look like he's going to take. And sometimes Krishna makes us, and then we, with that mood we try, just negligently neglectfully we'll pass a book, and actually then he takes and he buys maybe a Bhagavad Gita and some other books. Krishna teaches us. I should not judge, like that. So I should try my level best. So in every instance, we can always do our best to every single attention to every single detail, and properly attending to everything that we are given. Then Krishna will give us more and more intelligence how to do such service properly. I hope that clarifies it. Alright, so thank you all very much. Hopefully that helped. Hopefully it will help me to do proper seva. So alright, thank you very much. I do not know, because we have a lot of service going on. So initially I thought every day you just do it. But what I'm thinking is I'll just do it on Wednesdays and Saturdays when I have regular classes. So I'll just take this opportunity to do the Harināma Cintāmaṇi until we finish this reading through this book. Otherwise I would have done tomorrow also, Thursday. Honestly, we have many services at hand, so hopefully you'll excuse me for that. Alright, thank you very much. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Haridas Thakur ki jai, Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol, Hare Krishna.